On June 18, 2023, the peaceful community of Surrey, British Columbia, Canada, was shattered by a brazen act of violence. Hardeep Singh Nijjar, a prominent Sikh leader, was gunned down outside a Sikh temple. Nijjar, a Canadian citizen, was a vocal advocate for the Khalistan movement, a separatist group seeking an independent Sikh state in India. His assassination sent shockwaves through Canada's Sikh community and ignited a diplomatic firestorm between Canada and India. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, after months of investigation, dropped a bombshell. He directly accused agents of the Indian government of being involved in Nijjar's murder on Canadian soil. This unprecedented accusation sent shockwaves through the international community. Trudeau's statement marked a turning point in the investigation, transforming what was initially a murder investigation into a full-blown international incident. While the precise nature of the evidence remains shrouded in secrecy, Canadian officials have revealed tantalizing glimpses. They claim to possess intelligence intercepts, communication records, and even video footage that directly link Indian government operatives to the assassination plot. This evidence, according to Canadian sources, is credible and irrefutable, leaving no doubt about India's involvement. India reacted to Trudeau's accusations with fury and indignation. The Indian government vehemently denied any involvement in Nijjar's assassination, dismissing Canada's claims as absurd and baseless. Indian officials accused Trudeau of playing politics, suggesting he was trying to appease Canada's large and politically influential Sikh community ahead of a potential election. The assassination of Hardeep Singh Nijjar and the ensuing diplomatic crisis have brought the Khalistan movement back into the global spotlight. This incident has not only reignited old tensions but also raised new questions about international diplomacy and the role of diaspora communities in political movements. The movement, which seeks to create an independent Sikh state called Khalistan in the Punjab region of India, has long been a source of tension between India and its Sikh diaspora. The roots of the Khalistan movement can be traced back to the 1980s, a period marked by violent clashes and significant political upheaval. Despite being largely dormant for years, the movement has never completely disappeared, simmering under the surface and occasionally flaring up. India views the Khalistan movement as a serious threat to its national security and accuses Canada and other Western nations of harboring Khalistani separatists and sympathizers. The Indian government has consistently maintained that the movement is fueled by external forces, aiming to destabilize the region. On the other hand, supporters of the Khalistan movement argue that they are fighting for the right to self-determination and justice for historical grievances. This complex web of accusations and counter-accusations has made the issue a perennial thorn in the side of Indo-Canadian relations. The recent events have only added fuel to the fire, making it a focal point of international attention once again. Interestingly, India's response to Canada's accusations stands in stark contrast to its reaction to similar allegations from the United States. In 2021, the US accused India of being involved in an attempted assassination of a Sikh American activist on US soil. In that instance, India responded with a more conciliatory tone, offering to cooperate with the US investigation. Faced with mounting pressure from Canada and its allies, the Indian government has found itself in a precarious position. The international community is closely watching every move, and the stakes are incredibly high. In response to these pressures, India has resorted to the rogue agents defense. This narrative is not new in the world of international espionage and diplomacy, but it carries significant implications for the current geopolitical climate. The rogue agents defense suggests that if any Indian officials were involved in Nijjar's assassination, they were acting independently without the knowledge or authorization of the Indian government. This claim aims to distance the state from any direct involvement, thereby mitigating diplomatic fallout. However, the complexity of such operations often requires a level of coordination and resources that rogue agents typically do not possess. The Indian government has categorically denied any official involvement, emphasizing their commitment to international law and order. This defense has been met with skepticism from Western governments and intelligence analysts. Many find it difficult to believe that such a high-profile operation could have been carried out without the knowledge or approval of senior Indian officials. The skepticism is rooted in the understanding that intelligence agencies operate under strict hierarchies and protocols. The notion that rogue agents could execute an assassination of this magnitude without oversight challenges the credibility of the defense. High-profile security operations are typically subject to multiple layers of approval and scrutiny. The international community continues to debate the plausibility of India's defense. Diplomatic meetings and intelligence briefings are ongoing as nations seek to uncover the truth behind Nijjar's assassination. The outcome of these investigations could have far-reaching consequences for international relations and the future of global intelligence operations. The diplomatic fallout from the Nijjar assassination has been swift and severe. Canada expelled a senior Indian diplomat in connection with the killing, prompting a tit-for-tat expulsion of a Canadian diplomat from India. Trade talks between the two countries have been suspended, and travel advisories have been issued, warning citizens about the risks of traveling to each other's countries. The once cordial relationship between Canada and India has been plunged into its deepest freeze in decades. The diplomatic row between Canada and India has left the Sikh diaspora caught in the crossfire. Sikh communities in both countries have reported feeling anxious and uncertain about their future. The incident has also exposed deep divisions within the Sikh community, with some expressing support for the Khalistan movement and others condemning violence and advocating for dialogue. The assassination of Hardeep Singh Nijjar on Canadian soil has raised profound questions about state sovereignty, international law, and the limits of acceptable conduct between nations. If proven true, the allegations against India would represent a shocking violation of international law and set a dangerous precedent for state-sponsored violence. The incident has also put a spotlight on the activities of intelligence agencies and the challenges of holding them accountable for their actions. The path forward for Canada and India remains fraught with uncertainty. The diplomatic relations between these two nations have been strained for some time, but recent events have brought them to a critical juncture. Both countries are now faced with a choice: to reconcile their differences through dialogue and cooperation, or to allow tensions to escalate further, potentially leading to more severe consequences. Canada has demanded that India cooperate fully with its investigation and bring those responsible for Nijjar's assassination to justice. Prime Minister Trudeau has emphasized the importance of transparency and accountability in this matter, urging India to provide any information that could aid in the investigation. The Canadian public too has shown a strong interest in seeing justice served, with peaceful protests and calls for action echoing across the nation. India, for its part, has denied any wrongdoing and accused Canada of harboring anti-India elements. Indian officials have been vocal in their defense, stating that the allegations are baseless and politically motivated. They argue that Canada has not done enough to address the activities of groups that they claim are working against Indian interests. This has led to a war of words between the two governments, each standing firm on their respective positions. The standoff has the potential to escalate further, with potentially serious consequences for both countries. Increased border security measures, heightened diplomatic tensions, and the possibility of economic repercussions are all on the table. The international community watches closely, aware that the outcome of this standoff could have broader implications for global diplomacy and international relations. Finding a way to de-escalate tensions, rebuild trust, and address the underlying issues will require both sides to demonstrate restraint, pragmatism, and a commitment to dialogue. Diplomatic negotiations and round-table discussions will be crucial in this process. Both nations must be willing to make concessions and work towards a mutually beneficial resolution. The emphasis should be on cooperation and understanding rather than confrontation and blame. The international community also has a role to play in encouraging a peaceful resolution to the crisis and upholding the rules-based international order. Organizations such as the United Nations and other international peacekeeping bodies can offer mediation and support to help both countries navigate this challenging period. Global leaders must come together to promote dialogue and prevent further escalation, ensuring that the principles of justice and cooperation prevail.
So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and let's turn the page on a new adventure together. Get ready to experience books like never before, only on VBook 360. Like, comment, and share to support the channel and keep the video magic alive. Thank you for stopping by. And remember, every video has a story, and every story deserves to be shared. See you in the next video.